All right. .com side, we are still hanging out. We got, of course, Coach Solari here with us as we hang out, and before we get back on the fan side. But you cleaned up. You got yourself a couple of studs there on the offensive line, right?
Yeah, it's exciting. So really getting excited to get him here and get going.
I do wonder, last year when we talked with you, we weren't sure what the plan was for Tyler Smith. Of course, it was your first year coming in, and you said you kind of did envision him maybe playing tackle. Then he played guard. This offseason, how important was it for you, depending on how the draft fell, to maybe get that tackle like Tyler Guyton to be able to keep Tyler Smith at guard?
Yeah, that was critical in that aspect. Otherwise, whatever we were going to get the best player, and then have Tyler make that adjustment. Tyler's so talented. He could play either or, and he really stepped up last year at guard and got better each game, and improved each week. So it's exciting where his career is now, and being such a young player, and his skill set. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
When you got coaching point, you got two Tylers on the left side. How do you deal with that?
Gosh, that's tough.
And coaches are really coaches are creative. And I know you're a creative man. So how do you deal with two Tylers?
We'll make sure we'll have to have it a little name or something, or last name, whatever. But again, it's exciting.
It is very.
Tyler Guyton is just a tremendous athlete. A lot of upside, so we're really excited about him.
You guys did a lot of homework, obviously, on a ton of offensive linemen throughout the process, but you look at these two guys that you took in the first 2 days. Tyler, all he had was a formal meeting with you guys, and then Cooper didn't have a formal or a 30. How do you kind of evaluate the person from your perspective, whereas the scouts see him a lot more in person, but how are you able to evaluate, okay, I'm okay with taking that character guy? Do you just rely on what the scouts tell you at that point?
Absolutely. Our scouts do a great job. I mean, what a tremendous job they do, and just the history of what they've done here with the offensive line. Wow. I mean, just tremendous. They do a great job in the research they do, and staying on target from following their careers through their freshman years and they cross all the T's, dot all the I's, in the sense of asking everybody, whether it's a coach, whether it's a trainer, whether it's the equipment, whether, whoever's they can get some words of wisdom from, and they do a great job in their research.
Yeah, those formal meetings, they're quick, and then obviously here at the 30 visits, y'all are trying to get them quick and make sure they meet with everybody. I've heard your meetings specifically are fast-paced and high-energetic. Can you walk us through what let's say a formal meeting looks like for you in Indy?
Yeah, the formal Indy for us is, again, get to know them as a football player, and they'll get to know their ability to communicate. So again, we give them our offense. We give them like a segment of an installation, and we make sure it's a run pass. We try to go quick. And give them a notepad where they're taking notes, and see how quick they can take notes and digest what we're saying, because the meetings go quick. And again, it's to see what they can comprehend. And then all of a sudden, we'll come back and we'll ask them questions. And then we always check their notes. We want to make sure, again, they take good notes, and then help them. As a young player, and we want to make sure, in the sense they understand they got to go wherever they go. They got to be able to take great notes. And then at night when they go home, it's got to be clear where they can read it, versus just writing stuff down and scribbling, and they can't read at night. And what did I write down here? What's this coaching point? So we just try to do a very detailed, where we have a great feel, where we can give feedback in the sense of he can learn, he needs some help, just so we know in the sense of where he's at in learning and comprehending. And that's exciting for us as coaches to see where they're at.
Coach, I know we've talked with different scouts who've come here already today, and they've talked about how they think they got 4 really tough guys in this draft so far, and the 2 on the offensive line guys who display a lot of toughness and physicality and things like that. When you are going through this process with the scouts and talking about things, do you look at toughness and physicality as something that you could coach out of somebody, or do you look at that as that has to be an innate trait that we acquire?
It's a trait that you're looking for. Again, work ethic. You always want a young man that has a work ethic. We think work ethic has tie into passion, love of the game. So that's a key thing. And then Coach McCarthy's done a great job here, in the locker room, fitting the profile of the Dallas Cowboys, in that toughness, that smart football player, and so forth. And it's part of the profile, and it's a characteristic that we look for, and the scouts mark it down as well, and they give us, feedback on that aspect. Because, again, the NFL is so tough. It's a journey. The season is long and so forth. So you need that person that has a love for the game, where they're going to, commit off the field, like when they go home and take care of their bodies, not only physically, eating properly, nutrition, hydrating properly, but also studying, where they take that time. And sometimes it's tough for a young man to say, no, I don't want to go there. I got to study tonight. But that's what you're looking for, that passion, that love, that accountability. In the offensive line room, like Zach has done such a tremendous job in the sense of leadership and setting the standard, and the consistency every day of being that player. And then when you're on the practice field, practice like you play the game. So critical. It's not a thing where you can turn it on Sunday and play. So again, that's what we're looking for, and it's part of the profile, that work ethic, that toughness, because toughness has a trait of a competitor. Competitor has a trait of grit. The guy is tough, innate. So you'd like to have that trait, that quality.
We're talking with offensive line coach Mike Solari here on 105 through the Fan and DallasCowboys.com. When it comes to Tyler Guyton, there's so many traits that are positive about him: the athleticism, the arm length, but also a little bit raw with kind of limited game experience. When you watch him, what are some of the things when you bring him in, you're excited to be able to teach and develop more with him?
Well, again, the thing that you like about Tyler Guyton is his athleticism. Here's a young man, a little bit over 6'7", yet he plays like 6'5", 6'4" because of his knee bend. He has tremendous flexibility, very good athlete, the initial quickness, the foot speed, and that's what you're looking for in a tackle. It used to be in the old days was your left tackle had to have the blue feet, but today with all the open edges and the passing game and so forth and so on, both tackles have to be athletic and have great foot speed. But he has the qualities of a fine left tackle in the sense of the foot speed. We call them blue feet. Right. He's got the athleticism, the recoverability. And usually a young man, whenever you say he has recoverability or change of direction in space, he's got great knee bend. And he's got that quality, which is so unique for a man 6'7". You lose a little bit of that, with the size, you lose a little bit of flexibility, you lose a little bit of recoverability, change of direction in space. He's got those qualities. It's really exciting to work with somebody like this.
About what time of the year does Will McClay bring you a set of guys like, hey, look at these crop of guys and tell me what you like about these certain dudes? Is it throughout the year, or was it kind of in the past couple of months where it really starts to ramp up?
Absolutely. It's the last couple of months where it ramps up. And as you well know, after the season, the most important thing is to reevaluate your players. Take the emotion out of it. Now reevaluate your players. Then they give you a segment, free agency, and then you want to rank them, then put them in the sense of the order how they fit in your offensive line, in the sense of their ranking. And then they give you the college players. So it's kind of an ongoing process, but especially these last 2 months. And again, they do a great job, in the sense of giving you players just to get an opinion and feel what we feel as offensive line coach or position coaches.
How important will Zach Martin be over the course of the next year, helping these two rookies come into the equation?
Tremendous. Again, Zach's, is a great leader in the room, and what he brings, his presence, his work ethic, the way he goes about his business. Just watch him. Just watch how he goes about his business. And again, we're really proud of the room itself. These guys have ascended and have picked up, down the road from the guys that have left here and have left this tradition of a standard in that room. So it's exciting because it's, we want them to feel like, they are the room. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key, being accountable to each other. That's the strength of the unit.
Coach, thank you so much for giving us some time. This has been awesome. We can't wait to watch BB, watch Guyton, and whoever else maybe comes along here on day 3.
Me neither. Here we go.
It's going to be awesome. Let's go, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you for the time.